When I first met Ed Catmull, who ran the computer division of Lucasfilm and who I founded Pixar with, Ed showed me what they were working on, and I was blown away. And the graphics were years beyond anything I'd ever seen before. And he told me of his dream to make the first computer animated feature film. And I bought into that dream both sort of emotionally and financially, and we founded Pixar.
I reached a deal with Steve to buy Pixar for $7.4 billion. An hour before we were going to announce it, he took me for a walk and told me that he had a return of cancer that he had had a few years earlier and gave me a chance to get out of the deal. I had about a half an hour at that point to decide. We were buying the creative geniuses and the entire technological and creative side of Pixar and not Steve. And so I just decided on the spot we're going to go forward with it.
For Toy Story, we picked toys because we could do them. Skin has kind of a translucent thing, and if you don't get that right, it looks like you're made out of plastic. But if they're plastic toys, then it's okay to look like you're made out of plastic. And for a lot of people, their goal is to demonstrate the technology. Things that differentiated us at the beginning is the technology is not the goal. It really is to make a great movie. But there's something about infusion of the technology into an artistic process which enriches both. I've got a good relationship with Steve, and all of us do, but we didn't want him there full time. He was really good part-time. We were a group that had been through failures together. And it became apparent that we were onto something really big. But the deal that we had with Disney was not a very good deal. We got like 3 to 5% of the profit. So Steve called John and me together, and he said, our deal lasts for 3 pictures, and at the end, we're on our own. Michael Eisner will realize, as soon as this film is successful, that he will have just created his biggest nightmare. So he will not want the contract to end. So when the film comes out, he will renegotiate. And when we renegotiate, I want 50% of the profits. But if we get 50% of the profits, that means we have to put up 50% of the money. Therefore, we should go public. So we put on the roadshow. We went out and showed pieces of the movie. The movie comes out, it opens huge, it gets incredible reviews, and then the next week we go public. And it was the biggest IPO of the year. It was bigger than Netscape.
In a live action movie, the director goes out and shoots lots of film, typically between 10 and 100 times more footage than will end up on the screen. In animation, it is so expensive that you cannot afford to animate more than a few % more than is going to end up on the screen. So how do you do it? Well, Walt Disney himself solved this problem decades ago. And the way he solved it was he said, we have to edit our film before we make it, not after. Well, how do you edit a film before you make it? Well, you get your story team together and you do storyboards. You do these little pictures for every key scene. But that wasn't enough. Then what he did was he actually photographed them on film. He filmed each picture, of which there are, thousands. And then he got he got scratch voices, people around the studio to do the voices, and he'd even put in some scratch music. And then he could watch his movie. And we still do that today.